Hi folks, welcome back to Physics with Captain Rod here. The purpose of this video is to explain exactly what a kilowatt hour is and how you can use it to kind of estimate, electrical costs. So in this example, we're going to consider a couple things, maybe a light bulb or several light bulbs, or perhaps an electric dryer. And I think I'm going to start out with this here, the kilowatt hour. Let's talk about what that is. So as I always say with units, you can always take units at face value. Right, so 1 kilowatt hour, if I just plug in what these things are, is 1, right, now kilo means 1,000. A watt is a joule per second. And an hour, written in seconds, is 3,600 seconds. And you notice that the seconds cancel. If we go through and do the multiplication here, what we get is 3.6 million, or 3.6 times 10 to the 6 joules. So a kilowatt hour is a unit of energy. It's 3.6 million joules. When we're charged from the electrical company, they don't charge us typically by the joule. They charge us by this quantity called the kilowatt hour. And this is the equivalent. 1 kilowatt hour is equal to 3.6 times 10 to the 6 joules. And the joule just isn't a real convenient unit of energy for the power company to charge us with. Right now I pay electrically around 13 cents a kilowatt hour. So in other words, it's 13 cents for every 3.6 times 10 to the 6 joules. And again, the joule not being extremely convenient, the kilowatt hour is a much more convenient unit to express here. And let me talk about some examples why. So over here, this light bulb, let's imagine that this is, say, a 80 watt bulb. And when a light bulb is 80 watts, what it means is it uses energy at a rate of 80 joule per second. Electric dryer is quite a bit more powerful device here, and I'm just going to make up a number here. Let's say that this dryer is 1,500 watts. Let's start with this one. This is probably the better example to start with. So 1,500 watts is 1.5 kilowatts. If I were to run this dryer for, say, 3 hours, the energy used would be 1.5 kilowatts times 3 hours, and we get 4.5 kilowatt hour. And that would be the energy usage here to run that dryer. So when I get charged, all I got to do now is multiply to figure out my cost, I just take my electrical use, 4.5 kilowatt hour, and I'm just going to multiply by my cost, which is 13 cents per kilowatt hour, and you notice that these cancel. So, numerically here, give me just a moment, I'm going to go ahead and calculate a value here. So we're going to have, whoops, where did my little calculator go here? What I come out to here when I multiply this out is 58.5 cents. Right? And there's my cost. Let's go ahead and do a light bulb example. I'm going to clear these off here. All right, so this light bulb example. We've got this 80 watt bulb, which would be, if I write that in kilowatts, 0.08 kilowatts. And maybe this bulb is on 10 hours a day or something. So my energy use would be 0.08 kilowatts times 10 hours, which comes out to be 0.8 kilowatt hour. And then to convert this to cost, I would take my 0.8 kilowatt hour times 13 cents per kilowatt hour, and when we do that multiplication, I get 10.4 cents. So to answer the question of what is a kilowatt hour, it's a unit of energy, right? The reason it's a unit of energy, well, power is change in energy over change in time. Right? Power is a rate that energy is transferred. So this equation, if I solve it for the delta E, it's power times delta T. anything that is a power times a time is a unit of energy. You know, for example, if I run a 3 horsepower motor for 30 seconds and I look at that product, 90 horsepower seconds, that would be a unit of energy. Or maybe 50 horsepower ran for 3 hours. When you multiply that out, you get 150 horsepower hour. Anything that is a power times a time is a unit of energy. And that's what the kilowatt hour is. Kilowatt is the power, times hour is a unit of time. So kilowatt hour is a unit of energy. It's equivalent to 3.6 times 10 to the 6 joules, or 3.6 million joules. It's just a convenient way to express energy on our bills, because typically everything that we plug in is we will usually know a wattage for. In this example, you know, my dryer here, 1500 watts or 1.5 kilowatts. In this example, an 80 watt bulb would be 0.08 kilowatts. It makes it very easy to figure out our energy usage just by taking our kilowatts times number of hours and then applying our cost. So just a quick little video here intended to demonstrate what a kilowatt hour is. I'll probably make some more examples up, but everybody have a great day.